Testing is in session. Our learning target is success. We are getting ready to talk about driver's education. This is me. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. Let's talk about new drivers, advice for new drivers. A lot of beginning drivers do a lot of light traffic light driving. What does this mean? They're driving in the neighborhood. They're making right turns. They're making left turns. A lot of beginners are unsure what to do. There's an opportunity if you're older brother or sister, uncle or auntie, to get your nephew or niece out on the road. They need to be able to turn hand over hand into the turns, hand over hand out. We're in the United States. I'm in the Midwest. Every driver drives a little bit differently. You're going to learn from watching my videos. You're going to learn from watching your mom, watching your dad, playing a video game. You need to find a driving style that works for you. Once you're comfortable driving in the neighborhood, making 12 right turns, 12 left turns, checking blind spots. There's a blind spot to my left. There's a blind spot to my right. There's a blind spot in front of my car. And there's a blind spot behind my car. You as a beginning driver, you want to feel comfortable. What is our learning target for success? Advice for new drivers. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. Testing is in session. I want to welcome you in. If you have comments, put them in. Next, while watching others, you need to learn from your mom, from your dad, from your sister, from your brother. Learn from me, because we want to teach you the best way to drive and to reduce accidents and collisions. While your mom and dad is driving, instead of being on your phone, you need to be watching them. That's how dad is able to parallel park. That's how mom backs into the driveway. You always should be watching someone that is driving so you can apply some of those fundamentals. Next, continue to study yield/right of way. Intersections are the most dangerous place. I want to tell you again, intersections are the most dangerous place. So what do we do as beginning drivers? I'm going to tell you what to do. You want to start looking ahead, looking left, looking middle, looking right, surveying the intersection. Is there a pedestrian walking by? Is someone making a left turn? Is Grandma or Joe Biden or Donald Trump, are they pulling out of a private driveway? A lot of senior citizens, older people, no disrespect, pull out of private parking lots very slowly. So if you're traveling at the speed limit and you see a really slow car pulling out, it's either a teenager or an older driver. Drive defensively. What is our learning target for success? We are talking about advice for new drivers. It is really important that you understand how to drive, what to do, and how to get better. You want to learn from your mom. You want to learn from your dad. You want to learn from looking at my videos. Learning is fundamental. The family is the first teacher. Traditionally, driver's ed was a class that was taken in the public school system. But since budget cuts came, they are now going to third parties. Driver's education is a formal program or course designed to teach individuals how to operate a motor vehicle, how to drive safely. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I'm going to give you best practice. I'm going to show you in car, in class. And then when I go live, you should be posting your questions. You should be writing this stuff down, because this is like your virtual driver's education class. What is our learning target? Advice for new drivers. I'm your host. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you into the class, and we're going to continue about advice for beginning drivers. Use the Big Five strategy when you drive. What is the Big Five strategy? Concentrate. No phones, no text. Look into your turns. I take my clients in neighborhoods. We're making 10 right turns. I should see them looking left, looking right. We're making 10 left turns. I should see them looking left, looking right. Practice those maneuverability drills, because on your road test, regardless of the way you live in the United States or outside of the United States, you have to do some type of parking maneuver, whether it's pulling up into a stall parking spot, an angle parking spot, reverse blind spot parking like you back into your driveway, or the dreaded parallel park. You must be prepared and you must be ready to go. It is extremely important that you are prepared and you are ready to go. And when you're ready to go learn, you're going to have success. What is our learning target? Our learning target is advice for new drivers. You have questions, you put it in. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. Testing is in progress. Let's go ahead and keep talking about advice for new drivers. Next, we talked about looking in your turn. If you're making a left, I should see you looking to the left. If you're making a right, I should see you looking to the right. Parents, guardians, coaches, teach your adult, your teen, how to look into the turns. Next, I need you to work on lane changing. We have blind spots. If I'm making a lane change to the left, I will look over my left. If I'm making a lane change to the right, I will look over my right. It's important that you teach them how to check blind spots. Next, drive at a safe speed for the conditions. If it's raining, increase your following distance. If it's heavy traffic, increase your following distance. If you're driving in a downtown urban area, downtown Detroit, Michigan, downtown Houston, Texas, downtown Los Angeles, California, you as a driver need to understand the environmental factors that lead to collisions. Pedestrians are the most vulnerable. I'll say it again. Pedestrians are the most vulnerable. So what do you need to do? You need to cover the brake. This means you have your foot near the brake. What I need you to think of is always looking left, middle, right, always looking, and being aware of traffic lights. Pedestrians will walk between cars. Parking lots are vulnerable spots where pedestrians can get killed. Pedestrians always have the right of way. Have a lot of room when you're pulling out in traffic. Beginning drivers tend to not judge distance and speed. What does this mean, beginning drivers? You're going to give your mom and dad a heart attack. You're going to pull out in front of a moving car, and your parent is like, didn't you see that car? What car? I had room. No, they had to change lanes. They're putting up the middle finger. They are mad at us. Mom and dad, coaches, don't get mad at your young driver. Teach them, show them how to improve and how to get better. You improve by gradual exposure. Take them on a road during the early evening, early morning. Do not get on the road during rush hour. Why? You're going to have a lot of cars that are impatient, and they're going to be cutting you off. They're going to be tailgating you. I am in a driver's ed car. We have a sign on top. We have a brake. We have a mirror. You do not have those luxuries to warn drivers that you are going to pull out in front of us. The general public should not be driving near driver's ed cars. Give us plenty of room. Give us and make us feel safe. How to drive safe? You want to keep good speed, you want to have good space, and you want to have a smile. Speed allows you to have time. Beginning drivers tend to tailgate on cars. They tend to not turn on blinker, either too late, and then cars behind them will rear them, or too early, and you're confusing other drivers. Listen to this. Don't scare the parents. Don't scare your instructor. You don't mean to scare the parents. You don't mean to scare the instructor, but you do scare the instructor. You do scare your parent. Your mom and dad won't want to drive with you anymore if you are scaring them. So take time, learn how to turn properly, turn in the nearest lane. Keep your turn as short as possible. What does this mean? You want to go into the nearest lane. If you're making a left, you want to go up to the middle of the intersection. You yield for oncoming traffic. You look where you're going. You want to turn by the double yellow. If you're making a right turn, you want to look left, look right. You want to turn in the nearest lane. That is to the curb. On your driving test, if you turn in a wrong lane and cause an accident or a collision point, that is grounds for failure. We do not want you to fail, and we want to help you. What is our learning target? It is for success. Our goal is advice for new drivers. I am your host. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. Let's continue talking about advice for new drivers. New drivers don't judge distance and speed very well. You're going to be driving under the speed limit. You're going to take your time, and I want you to accelerate as you get out of your turn. A lot of beginning drivers go 35, 40 into their turns. You're going to overload the outside tires, and you're going to drift into the left lane. This is where cars making left turns will occupy. And mom and dad, if your son hits the gas or your daughter hits the gas hard and jerk the wheel, you're going to over-rotate. Next, they need a lot of verbal instructions. Tell your people what to do. At the light, I need you to make a right turn. I should see you looking left, because if they don't look left, they're going to pull out in front of a car and get hit. I need to see you look left, right, and left. And then your final look is to where you're going. If you're going to the right, I should see you looking to the right. If I going left, I should see you looking to the left. A lot of beginners are scared. They have their blinders on, just like this. Use your peripheral vision to see people, to see cars, to see animals, so you don't get caught off guard. Next, beginning drivers don't assume that they know how to go into a roundabout. You want to yield to traffic already in the roundabout. You want to take your time. You want to gently accelerate through the roundabout. If you're turning, you need to turn on your indicator just before you get into the roundabout. If you're going straight through, you yield, you check. We're in America, so we drive on the right. Let's continue talking about the information. What is our learning target? Advice for new drivers. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. We're giving you now information about driver's education. The goal of driver's education is to prepare new drivers for the challenges of the road and help reduce the number of accidents and traffic fatalities. A fatality is when someone obviously reduces speed to avoid an accident. A fatality is when someone is killed. We want to reduce the number of fatalities. So a lot of states in the United States have a graduated license, a GDL, where you're driving with mom for 6 months, 90 days, 120 days. Then you're gradually getting to the next level. This is important how you accelerate. You want to be successful. Your success starts within. I'm going to pass my driving test. I'm going to study. I'm going to listen to my instructor. I'm going to watch the instructional videos. I'm going to study to really get a good grade. Then when I'm done, I'm going to meet with my instructor. I'm your instructor, and he or she will make a list of things I need to work on. Typically, new beginning drivers drive slower, 10 under the limit. Next, beginning drivers have a difficult time judging distance. Next, beginning drivers don't look left and right. They're going to make a right turn, and traffic is going to run them over. Beginning drivers get very confused. So what I need you all to do is explain what you're doing to the beginning driver so they can be successful. And over time, mom, dad, coach, uncle, auntie, they will improve and they will get better, because that is the goal of driver's education, is to improve. What is our learning target? Advice for beginning drivers. Our session is in progress. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. Let's continue talking about driver's education. Many schools offer driver's education. And as a result, the course is part of the curriculum. You're going to have your coach, your social studies teacher, your math teacher, your football coach teach driver's education. They will teach you the rules and laws of the road. And when you understand the rules and laws of the road, you're less likely to speed, you're less likely to make errors. Errors are a part of the normal process of learning how to drive. Many high schools offer driver's education courses as part of the curriculum. Students may be required to complete these courses to obtain their driver's license. That is super important. I appreciate you. All of you are very important too. Give us a thumbs up. Let's continue. Driver's education requirements vary from state to state to state. Texas may have 10 hours behind the wheel, or Texas may say, no, parents, you teach your son and daughter. When they're ready and they turn 16, bring them to the DMV. Other states may say, listen, your son or daughter needs 25 hours of driving class. They have class for 45 days. They have 10 hours of driving. You need to check with your local Department of Motor Vehicles, your DMV, to see what your requirements are. Next, driver's education typically are licensed professionals. I'm a licensed professional. Every 2 years, I take a certification test. I have an extensive background check, and then I take my professional development classes. Yes, of course, you're allowed to ask questions and put those questions in. Next, driver's education requirements vary from state to state, with different jurisdictions having different rules. Research has shown that by completing a driver's education course, that can lead to safer driving behaviors and reduce crash risk among new drivers. A new driver is someone who has not been licensed, whether you're 18, 28, 38, 48, 58. What is our learning target? Advice for new drivers. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I want to welcome you into the class. Testing is in progress. Next, let's talk about the fundamental elements of the test, because I'm going to help all of you pass the test. And let's go ahead and talk about this. Number one, if the teacher has to intervene, meaning turn the wheel, if you're making a right turn, but you don't see a pedestrian, that is ground for failure. Next, you disobey regulatory signs, a stop sign, a yield sign, a red signal. You have to stop, look left, look right if you're making a right turn on red. And in some cases, they will be a sign, no turn on red, only turn after 3 o'clock. Traffic engineers have looked at this situation and determined the safest time to travel. Don't try to out-trick a traffic engineer or a driver's education instructor or a tester. Next, stopping 10 or more feet, speeding 10 or more miles over the speed limit. Well, my mom drives fast. My dad drives fast. Focus on you. I'm not testing your mom. I'm not testing your dad. I'm testing you as an individual. And when you listen to this, you're going to start understanding, because I'm going to tell you the information you need to help you obtain your license. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Next, dangerous maneuvers. Maybe you make a left turn in front of a truck. The tester is shaken and they mark you down -10. Every area in the United States has different rules and expectations for their road test. Next, you strike an object. You turn short. You go over the curb. This is grounds for failure. You fail to yield. You say you're going into a roundabout. You go straight through and a truck almost hits you. The road tester marks it down. They'll have you pull over. The test is terminated. Next, pre-driving procedures. You come into the car. I want to see you what? Put on your seatbelt. Then I want to see you what? Adjust your center mirror and your side mirror. You want to frame the rear window in your mirror. You adjust your driver's side mirror. You adjust your passenger side mirror. Once those things are set, you're going to be proceeding, and your tester will tell you exactly what to do. Smooth stops. If you're shifting a manual, I want to see you push in that clutch, shift to 3. I want to see you have light clutch, gas. Next, if you are in a controlled emergency parking situation, an ambulance comes. We need to pull over to the right side of the road. Next, if you're driving along and someone is going slower than you, I want to see you back off of the car and look, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Your road tester has a predetermined route. you have 3 to 5 rights, 3 to 5 lefts. You're going to go into an industrial area, a residential area. You're going to be merging on off the expressway. You might be going into a roundabout. So it's extremely important that you understand our goal. And our goal is to help you get better and achieve what is our learning target for success. Advice for new drivers. I'm a state certified driving instructor. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. Let's continue talking about this information. We're going over information for your test. This is value. Next, you want to identify targets. You're going in a neighborhood. I see a kid to the left. Cover my brake. We're going into a main thoroughfare. I'm stopping at the corner. I'm showing the car. I'm looking left. It's clear. Then I should see you looking and turning and going in the nearest lane. Next, are you searching 15 to 20 feet or car lengths ahead of you? Do you turn your head to identify targets prior to turning? Like in a video game, I'm looking before I get to the corner. I'm looking before I get to the turn. Look ahead. The lane could be blocked. It could be an accident. Someone could be hit. And speaking of getting hit, there's a right hook. A right hook is when you're driving your car and a bicyclist is to your right. You fail to look to the right, you make your right turn, and you hit them. That is a right hook. A left cross. We're making a left turn. You fail to look to your left. A bike rider is going across our face, and we accidentally hit them. You as beginners need to give bike riders a minimum of 3 feet. They have a right to the road just like we do. Next, are you able to judge stopping and acceleration distance in a safe time manner? Are you checking your mirrors appropriately? I'm looking in my middle mirror. I'm looking in my left mirror. I'm looking in my right mirror. Those fundamentals are important. When you do these things, you demonstrate to the tester, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then they're smiling, and you're smiling because you know you're going to pass your test. You need to be listening to this. Dangerous maneuvers. What is the dangerous maneuver? You pull out in front of a car or truck. They have to slam brakes. You cut across traffic making a left turn. You didn't yield. You merge out to the expressway. You don't look over your shoulder. Dangerous maneuver. That will cause you to fail quicker than anything else. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. If you really want to learn, you need to be subscribing. Let's continue. Do you use a balanced steering? Do you have your hands at 9 and 3, 10 and 2, 7 and 5? AAA is a national organization, and they have wrote publications about steering. AAA says, quote, 7 and 5 is the best way to hold the steering wheel because there's an airbag in the middle of the steering wheel. And we do not want to get our thumbs blown off. Next, do you use proper hand over hand? The Highway Safety Transportation says hand over hand is still being used. That's a national publication, and it varies from country to your instructor, to your mom, to your dad. But you have to turn the wheel. If you're making a right turn, the car won't turn if you do this. You have to turn hand over hand. You have to turn hand to hand. Some people palm the wheel, and you will lose control of the car. Some people try to turn the wheel with their knee. You will lose control of the car. So what I need you to do is find a steering method that works for you, because everyone is different. Our biomechanics are different. Our legs are different. Our arms are different. Our depth perception is different. Next, are you using a push-pull? That's appropriate going around a curve. Do you use hand-over-hand steering when appropriate? Let's look at some major issues. Do you select the best lane when you're making a right turn? I told all of you, turn in the nearest lane. Next, you're making a left turn. Turn in the nearest lane. How you look, you judge traffic. There's a double yellow line or a yellow line. Turn in the nearest lane. It facilitates a smoother flow of traffic. What is our learning target for success? Advice for beginning drivers. I am your host. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. let's continue talking about the road test. If you have questions, you need to put them in. If you're here to listen, you need to be taking notes. Let's continue talking about controlled and uncontrolled intersections. Do you look for an open space? Hopefully you do. Do you obey traffic signals? Are you running yellow lights? Are you running red lights? Both are dangerous, and if you get comfortable running a yellow light, you're going to set yourself up for danger. Next, are you able to signal and check mirrors? You turn in your blinker 100 feet or a half a block. Are you turning your head and checking your blind spot? If I tell you make a lane change to the left, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Making a lane change to the right, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. You have to look over your shoulder. Are you gradually moving into the lane? Do you know what a broken yellow line means? Do you know what a solid double yellow line means? If you do not know what those mean, you need to go back, look at my videos, really study those fundamentals. Next, do you maintain proper speed? A lot of beginning drivers go too slow, 10 under, 15 under. If you go 10 to 15 under the limit, this is grounds to have your test terminated. We don't want you to get your test terminated. We want you to be successful. I'm a state certified driving instructor. What is our learning target for success? This is me. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. I'm in the Midwest. I want to talk about driving. This is advice for new drivers. If you're getting value, give it a thumbs up. Next, I want you to slow down and deaccelerate in the lane, not the expressway. There's a special lane. When you are getting off, you want to squeeze the brake and slow down. Next, are you automatically putting on your seatbelts? This is a positive habit. These are safe driving behaviors. And click in your mind if, when I read this, hey, this is me. Do you automatically put on your seatbelt, or do you have to be reminded? Next, do you maintain proper speeds at all times? Next, do you maintain a safe following distance minimum of a 3-second gap? Next, do you identify and understand responds to appropriate traffic signals? A yellow light's coming. A truck is behind you. You're at the point of no return. You proceed with caution. Do you understand the different vehicle capabilities, a big truck versus a small car? Effective shapes of the road. Okay, so you can ask questions. During your driving test, if you don't understand something, ask the instructor. Every instructor and tester is different. If I was taking my test, I would ask, I'm not sure. Can you tell me what I need to do, please? Don't be scared. Ask and explain and learn. Don't be scared. Next, do you accelerate to the proper speed? Are you identifying and selecting proper gaps? We know beginning drivers don't judge distance very fast and very good. So I will be cautious and wait. If you don't do the maneuver, you could be in grounds of failing the test. Your road tester will never put you into a dangerous situation. What is our learning target for success? Advice for new drivers. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. We're talking about the road test. We're answering people's questions. And at the end, you need to subscribe. You need to be looking at these videos to help you prepare for your road test, to help you understand what they're looking for. Do you understand about stopping at a curb? 12 inches or less. You can't go past 12. Next, do you know how to parallel park? Perpendicular park to the left side. Perpendicular park to the right side. There's so many things you have to prepare for. And when you listen and follow and subscribe, you will learn. Do you know how to properly signal 100 feet or a half a block? Do you understand that you have to yield for pedestrians? Pedestrians always have the right of way. Bye.